Hey guys, so today I am going to be taking you guys through how to intuitively read the tarot. I'm also making this a singles love reading from the autumnal equinox, which is Monday, September 23rd, until the winter solstice, which is December 21st. I believe. I wanted to make it a nice long span there, and that's what I was guided to do. So I've been getting a lot of requests for a hot minute to do a how-to video like this, and I put a lot of thought into it, and honestly, all I can do is teach you how I do it. And hopefully, you know, it will be beneficial to some of you guys watching, and it'll be as comprehensive as I can possibly make this. There are steps to it. There's going to be a couple other videos that supplement this one about how to ground yourself, open your chakras, and how to shuffle as well. I just didn't want to make this like too epically long of a video, so those other two will be coming out separately, but they are technically the first two steps that I do before this, hi Crow, before this process, okay? So the first thing that I'm gonna do here is obviously, you see me shuffling here. I would encourage you more than anything else when you are reading the cards to find your own zhuzh. Find what works for you, and really tailor it to what feels good for you, your personality. There is really, really, really no one right way to read the cards. There just isn't. And my own process and the way that I do it is something that, my God, I learned by, just over time. My mother taught me when I was a kid, and I grew up and I went to a lot of different readers who, I learned by watching and took a lot of classes, and I really just schooled myself in every way that I could. And then over time, I just kind of found, what worked for me personally, and I absolutely encourage you to do the same thing. All right. So again, we are going to call this a singles love reading here that we're going to work through. I never do like specific love readings. I never do singles readings, so I thought that this would be a nice little treat for the, what do they call it, the cuffing season that we're going into here. I don't know why, it just always makes me laugh. Oh, we're going into cuffing season. Okay then. Okay. So you just saw me shuffle. I just do the standard split the deck, bring them together. It's called the bridge shuffle, okay? Just like that. And again, I'll have a separate video on how to do that. So the first thing that I do, and this may or may not be for you, I've always been deeply connected with animal energies, and so I always start with an animal energy card, okay? I've already grounded myself, I opened my chakras, I spun them, and I meditated, okay? Actually, to let you in on the meditation that I did before we even start going here, because I have started doing this, and I do want to walk you through all of the information that I've been given that kind of leads me into what the cards actually, inform me around. So what I saw in the singles love meditation was, the first thing I saw was a horse. And I heard the song Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones. I also heard the song I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight. Could have been something you said. That song, I'm not too familiar with it, but I did hear that. And then I saw a lot of happiness and coupling coming to like an accumulation point by New Year's. Like I saw very happy New Year's kisses going around, okay? So that's what I saw in the meditation. I'm not going to try to figure it out right now. I know that that's what they showed me. Okay, so we're going to pull some animal energy here. Whew, so what is the animal energy for my single folks? I just got freaking shivers. Spirit must be very glad that I finally got my act together to do this, because we just got the horse. So I'm really glad that I showed my work and told you guys what I saw in the meditation. It's moments like this where you're like, okay, cool. So like I said, I did see a horse in the meditation, and I heard the song, the Rolling Stones, Wild Horses Couldn't Drag Me Away. And I got this feeling, I saw this picture of the red string of fate, which is, it ties two souls together, and it's about their journey to come together and be together. And it's kind of had this feeling of, there's a lot of soul unions coming up here in these next several months here, okay, between basically now and New Year's, or, that time period there. Sort of like, even, I was getting the feeling like time, circumstance, obstacle, personal situations just didn't really seem important, because this really felt like there were a lot of soul unions coming together, and the purpose behind it felt like it had a lot to do with raising the collective vibration of this earth plane. That's what I got in the meditation. Now we have the horse. Now I can look and see, okay, well, for me, the horse is about absolute spirit journeying, going from one realm to another. For me, it's largely about freedom. That's what this energy is for me. And I want to break this down a little bit too, because, I always encourage to look up the traditional meanings of these animal energies. Ted Andrews has a beautiful book, Stephen D. Farmer. You can always look up these, what is traditionally associated with these animal energies. And traditionally, horses are about what I just said, about spiritual journeying from one realm to another, about great spirit, and about freedom. For me personally, because I'm always going to bring my personal association to it, right? So this is where it gets a little bit really specific to me, and who I am and what I bring to the table. I grew up riding horses. It was always my reality. I have a very close connection with them. I grew up down south in the country, and I just rode horses a lot. And so for me, it's about the bond between, two living beings that is strong and indestructible, and very much rooted in trust and love. I got bucked off, my horse because of my own, doing a lot growing up. And every time I, got thrown off, my horse never left me. They always stayed with me. I had a few horses growing up, and they were always just right there. And so for me, it's that line of, the super, super unbreakable trust and bond that can happen between, humans and horse folk, right? So we see where we're going with this, and we're talking about a singles reading, so perhaps that's the kind of bond and connection that we're going to be looking at here, right? So that's the information we have going in here, okay? Another important aspect too of what I do is I am a stickler for the details. I like to look very closely at what the finer points and the details are before I take a bird's eye view and look at the larger picture. So when I look at this really up close, I'm noticing the braid. Can you see that? Can you see that? The braids here? Braids, it's three parts, which to me feels like a trifecta, which I could also say mind, body, spirit. So perhaps this connection that I'm feeling for the single populace that is watching this video right now is that these are going to be connections that fulfill and involve the mind, body, and spirit. Okay? Which is another way of saying a well-rounded, fully realized connection too. Also, the horse is, that is the alchemical symbol for earth. Okay, so I feel like these connections are going to be rooted and grounded and have true potential to be long-term. Okay? Also, horses have wonderful endurance too. So there's that aspect of it. So then we're going to go right to the cards here. Going to shuffle these. Just standard bridge. Okay, so then what I do is I split the deck intuitively. I just split it where it feels right, okay? And then I shuffle, and I let spirit pick the cards for the most part. You guys know, they come popping out. They'll either pop out, or one will turn itself like that. And that's also Spirit's way of being like, take me, okay? So I split it, I shuffle. What are the messages for my singles from now until the winter solstice? Please and thank you. I love it so much. Okay. Boom shakalaka. So this is our first card here. So the first thing that I do and that I would advise, you guys reading to do is the first things first. What is the traditional meaning of this card, right? Look it up in the book that comes with the tarot. You can look online, read books about it. We always want to start with what this traditionally means. So this is the Temperance card. We know that this card represents Sagittarius, right? Are we going to be coming into Sagittarius season here in a hot minute? Oh, why, yes, we are. Beautiful, beautiful synchronicity and commonality there, right? So traditionally, this is about balance. Interesting, right? Balance, because we were talking about the mind, body, spirit balance with the horse connection here, right? So that's another commonality that we can link in. So it's about balance. We also know that traditionally speaking, this is about soul unions. Right? Which is a union with a soul that you've either known before in past lives or that you know from a soul, level that maybe you haven't met up in past lives, but you certainly know each other from the other side or wherever have you, and you chose and meant and planned to meet up in this specific lifetime. That's the red string of fate that I was referring to earlier. Oh, red string of fate. And do you see the red of the mushroom here? Another commonality. Again, let's tie it in even more. We know that the color red represents the root chakra in the chakra system, which is what grounds us down to the earth beneath us. Back to the earth, horse is an earth animal, meaning, again, that this connection, I would say, to be a little cheeky here, this connection that I'm tapping into has legs, okay? It's not transient, it's not in and out, right? So that's the traditional meaning of this card, okay? So then I'm gonna set that down and I'm gonna pull more and then I'm gonna go back in and look at the specifics as I channel, okay? As I'm doing this, just so that I'm clear on this, when I open my chakras, I am a clear channel for information coming through. Everyone has different strengths with different clairs. So there's clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. There's clairsentience, which is clear feeling. There's clairaudience, which is clear healing, and so on and so forth. My strongest are clairsentient, clairvoyant, and clairaudient. Those are my three strongest ones. So when I'm receiving intuitive information about this reading, I will hear songs, right? Like I did the meditation. I'll hear words. Clairvoyantly, I will see images. They show me a lot of movies because I watch a lot of movies. So they can work with that memory bank of mine. They're like, oh my God, she watches all the movies and reads all the books. So let's show her different scenes from things so that she can kind of tie this together. See how that works? And then from a clairsentient standpoint, I'll feel sensations in my body. I'll feel ooey gooey, lovey tubby, like I'm about to dip into like a beautiful, pecan pie or something. And I'm like, feels warm and delicious and settled. So that's how I work. And I absolutely encourage you guys, because that is part of reading tarot intuitively. A lot of people in general, but also on the tube, don't read tarot intuitively, and that's totally cool. You don't have to. It's just what I do. I'm an intuitive, so it's my zhuzh, I must do it. Right? But a lot of tarot readers will literally look at the traditional meaning of the card and then just read the traditional meanings. And that is gorgeous and beautiful, and I love those readings as well. However, that is not what we're doing here. That is not at all what we are doing here, okay? So let's keep going. Let's pull some more. What else is going on for my singles? For my lovely single folks. Oh, see how it turned? See, Spirit is working so hard. Do you see how it flipped out like that and just turned? And I said, we take that, right? Three of Swords in reverse. Okay, Spirit's getting cheeky and I love it. So first I want to turn it upright just to get a good look at it. Now, traditionally, we know that this means heart pain. I mean, you don't say. It means heart pain. A lot of, this can be, because of past pain, breakup, loss of family, anything that severely affects the heart chakra and causes that pain. Now, let's bring in another tie here. Do you see how this is red again? Back to this color red. right? Again, with the root chakra. Again, with the being well-grounded and this connection coming up, being very rooted. And again, with that red string of fate, right? So we're noticing the similarities and the commonalities here. Now, we also know that traditionally, the swords rule air signs, right? Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. We also know that they rule the realm of the mind, thinking, your mental patterns, how you process things through a mental and or an intellectual sphere. Right? So this isn't just heart pain. This is heart pain that really causes a lot of mental angst and tension. True sorrow. Right? So that's the traditional meaning of this card. Then we flip it upside down. Reversals are different for everyone. A lot of readers don't read reversals at all. That is totally valid. I feel like that is missing a lot of opportunity within that, but that is just for me personally, and because I was taught tarot by real old school ladies, my mom and a lot of like, you know, her friends, and it's just very old school. And so it was like, oh, you will read reversals, you know what I mean? So how I read the reversal is I take it to mean intuitively I feel it out, but for the most part, when a key, by the way, these are called keys technically. I always hear it like my mom in my head. It's like, that's not a card, it's called a key. But this key, normally when I read reversals, it's about the opposite of what it is in the upright. Not always, but for the most part, that's how I read reversals. Again, do whatever works for you, okay? So the fact that this is in reverse, we already know what it means in the upright, right? So the fact that this is in reverse, we can take this to mean this is not going to be like other relationships in your past, right? My beautiful singles, it is going to be different. There's not going to be that same kind of heart pain and mental anguish. Another thing too, I feel like this is a graduation, right? A graduation outside of, you know, old patterns and having a lot of lessons to learn. And this is coming to you at this time because you have learned those lessons, and it's that, you know, completion of that cycle in a really beautiful way. And I want to point out another thing that they just said, go back to the braid. I heard that clairaudiently, okay? Remember how I was drawn to the braid, and a braid is comprised of 3 strands, mind, body, spirit, and then we have the 3 of swords here. I'm also being reminded that we are in a 3-year, which means when things are good, they are so freaking fantastic. And when they're not, it's like, wow, I can't see the forest through the trees, right? So that's another parallel here. I just love, it's really about finding the patterns and the commonalities within this, right? So let's set that down. That's your traditional spoke. I will go back again, of course, after we get the clarifiers, okay? Put that in the reverse. Let's get another one. Ooh, sexy. Okay, so we got the moon here. This is really cheeky, and I kind of love it. So traditionally speaking, the moon key represents psychic ability. And it represents the unknown, it represents the unconscious, the subconscious, everything that is best illuminated under the light of the moon or through meditation or going inside, visions, etc., okay? So what I'm doing right now is we already know the traditional meaning of this, right? I've just stated, this also represents Pisces as well, okay? Now I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, what stands out to me? What am I drawn to visually in this picture, right? What am I drawn to visually? Am I drawn to anything visually, or should I keep it moving? Okay, I'm drawn to the fact that they seem like an odd couple. Do they not? Can you see that? They seem like a bit of an odd couple. It's like a walrus and like, I don't know, he looks like a baker candlestick maker to me. Okay, I'm also noticing the 2 wolves here, right? A pair. So they look like an odd couple to me. And I feel like saying, I'm getting the feeling that whoever is coming into your atmosphere, my dear singles, please keep an open mind about what they look like, who they are, even their height, because I'm drawn to the height difference between them, right? Be open around that, because also the moon represents that appearances can be deceiving and encourages us to look beneath the surface, right? And so I do feel like that there's a message in this where it's like, listen, like when you have a soul connection with someone, you'll feel it, but sometimes we can really get bogged down in the physical aesthetics of life. It's part of our society. I mean, it's constantly, hammered in, where it's like, it matters what you look like. And we also process sensation through a physical lens initially as well, right? You know that saying, when you go to a restaurant and you order something and it's like you eat with your eyes first? There's something to that. But don't dismiss or discount upon first appearances, right? Dig deeper, look into the unknown, really sit with what's coming up for you. And if you do feel that tug and it's something that you can't really quite put your finger on and explain, that is worth exploring. Okay? Now we get clarifiers. So I like to use a different deck for the clarifiers in case anybody wants to repeat. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get a clarifier for Temperance here. What's the clarifier for Temperance for my singles? Oh God, yes. Okay, so we have Page of Cups. Okay, so let's speak traditionally, right? Traditionally speaking, Page of Cups. Cups rule the water signs, right? Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, okay? We also know that the cups rule the realm of emotion, emotional love, feeling, intuition. Right? Okay, cool, good to know. So Page of Cups, see how she's holding a fish there? I love that. So traditionally speaking, this can be an offer of love from somebody towards you or you towards somebody else. But in the base case, this is a court card, right? What do I mean when I say a court card? When I say court card, it's anything that is outside of the numbered suit or the major arcanas. So this is a numbered suit, 3 of Swords. It's not represented by a person, right? Major arcana with the Temperance and the Moon, 2 major arcanas. I'll get back to why that's significant and why we should notice those things, right? So this is going to represent a person specifically, as opposed to like an energy coming towards you, right? But this is an offer of love or someone who absolutely activates your emotions, your intuition, and your heart. Okay? Now, it's a page, and we know traditionally the page represents newness. It's a new energy. Now we have Temperance here, right? And it's like, okay. So Temperance is about a reunion of like souls. We could say soulmates, okay? And then we have the Page of Cups, which is a new energy, right? So I would take this as this person coming towards you. I'm not feeling like it's someone from your actual physical past coming around for a reunion and a new start. You could read it that way. That's not what I'm feeling, though. It's not what I'm feeling. This really feels like someone that you have yet to connect with in this lifetime coming in, but that you know on a true soul level. You know, sometimes you meet someone and it's like, have I known you for 5 minutes or 5 years? It's that level, and I'm absolutely getting that here, right? Interesting. You know, I'm also, they're pointing out to me that Temperance, Sagittarius is fire, and then this is water. Fire and water, like fire and water, very different. 2 different elements that actually don't really support each other very well, right? Air supports fire. Water supports the earth. Remember what I said about 2 very different energies coming together? Okay, seeing a pattern here, right? All right. Let's get a clarifier for this 3 of Swords in reverse. I just heard clairaudiently, 3rd time's a charm. Okay, so that could resonate for a few of you. 3rd time's a charm. 3rd time's a charm. Hello and goodbye. We got more cups here, people. I already talked about what the cups represent, so I won't repeat myself. But we have another court card here, right? So the Queen of Cups is the most intuitive queen. Okay? We know about her traditionally that she is so intuitive. She is so very much an empath that she feels other people's emotions as her own. It can be very overwhelming. Anyone who's an empath who's watching this absolutely knows what that is. But this is feeling to a whole other level. Again, depicted by the seashore here, right? And again, we have the water here depicted with the moon. This is going to be a very emotional connection that is going to have a lot of intuition involved, meaning you could meet this person and be activated. Your intuition could be activated. Again, you feel like you've known them a lot longer than you have. I'm also having a clairsentient feeling that you may be alerted to this person coming into your energy in dream time. Okay? So the Queen of Cups, again, traditionally, she is a clear feeler, very clairsentient, right? Very psychic, okay? And she is coming up to clarify the Three of Swords. And again, how I came about that, how I tie all of those links together is this is going to be a connection that is very much, involves the soul, and that is going to be of a very emotional nature. It's going to be a strong emotional tie here, okay? Also, it's clarifying the Three of Swords in reverse. So I feel like this is also coming up to say that this might pop you right out of your head. I don't even know if you're going to have the ability, especially for those of my fellow air signs that are watching this or have predominant air in their charts. I don't even know if overthinking or analysis paralysis is even going to be an option for you, because it feels like a true emotional connection, okay? So let's go ahead and get a clarifier for the moon. Please and thank you. Out. Oh, get the, okay. Spirit is just like giving us all the goods today. We have the Two of Cups. Da-da-da. Listen, traditionally we know that Two of Cups is a true soul connection. We have water clarifying each of these initial first cards here. Water, again, the realm of emotion and intuition. Two of Cups, this is the soulmate, love reunion. I saw Guinevere in the meditation too, the energy of Guinevere. And she's like a huge epic love story. This is what it is. This is the card that, or the key, sorry mom, that, that comes up and it's like, oh, this is a forever destined union. This is your person. That is all. Right? Two of Cups. This is the most romantic. Oh my God, I just got shivvy me bivies. Do you see that cord tying their hands together? And I was talking about the red string of fate. Get out of here with that. Now listen, more water here. And these are two different decks, and I'm just loving the commonalities here. So the Two of Cups, the fact that it is clarifying the moon, and we have this water here. Do you remember what I said about you possibly getting a heads up around this person during dream time or through an intuitive sphere, through meditation or whatever have you? I absolutely feel like that's going to be the case. Your souls, as they move, right, let's just use like a little picture here. As they move closer and closer together, that string between you, that red string of fate, is growing more taut and more taut and more, well, actually it'd be taut if it went this way. But it feels like it's getting taut, moving closer, because you each are reeling each other in. That's what it feels like. And that's exactly what this feels like, okay? So now what I do is I put all of these down, and then I look at it in terms of like bird's eye view, bigger picture. What am I noticing here? What are the differences? What are the numbers involved, right? What patterns are there? Patterns are huge. I rely very much on patterns. Okay, they're also telling me that I missed the fact that there's definitely a moon right on this horse's head right here. Okay, missed that, got it. Okay, they are playing a song to me, It Takes Two. It Takes Two, me and you. I mean, this is very romantic. I'm obsessed that this is coming up as a singles reading. Okay, so a pattern here. Like I said before, every single one of these clarifiers for these initial 3 cards is of the water. Beautiful. Again, intuition, emotion. Okay, they're showing me another pattern here, another likeness. The moon card represents Piscean energy. The Page of Cups, she does have a fish in that cup here. Okay, let's talk about Pisces for a second. What do we know about the sign of Pisces? They're considered to be one of the more intuitive signs. Okay, so that's why they're represented by the moon. So back to that idea of intuition and this being a very intuitive connection here. I am getting this feeling like your intuitive ability or something about that is going to be, it's going to grow upon meeting each other. It's like an activation point, it feels like, okay? Okay, so they're telling me to get really specific about the range of this. So I just heard that it's not necessary. So, okay, they're showing me this here because they're showing me the Queen looking at the Page of Cups. I feel like for some of my same-sex, couples that are going to be coming into union here, this is very much for you. I feel like for my same-sex couples coming in here, I do feel like there is a special attention on a childhood aspect of yourself that is going to feel very much at home with this partner coming in here. And then I just heard that message to be very specific about that, okay? It's for everybody, but they were telling me, like, they were showing me like her looking at her and being like, this is a younger version. Like there's something about the feeling of coming home and the childhood aspect of oneself, and they're two women, so that I felt the need to remark on that. Okay, so I'm looking for more patterns. What do these things have in common? I can see that there's a heck of a lot of blue here. Even in the Temperance card, the caterpillar is blue. What do we know about the color blue in the chakra system? It rules the throat chakra, which is the realm of communication, which would tell me that this is going to be a relationship of very communicative in nature. Fabulous. We always like that, right? I really am getting the strong feeling that this is endgame. Like this is going to be a connection that is just around for a really, really, really long time. And because the Two of Cups here, I would say for a good number, y'all, even till death do you part. Not to get morbid, but that's what I'm getting. Oh, they're showing me something really specific. Okay, in the movie The Little Mermaid, I told you they show me movies and stuff. In the movie The Little Mermaid, so they're drawing my attention to this really light blue water right here. And in one of the last scenes of The Little Mermaid, I'm talking about like the original Disney animated, when Ariel comes out from the water, she's wearing that really light sky blue sparkly dress. And I just remember that so well. So my guides were like, okay, we're showing you this moment. It was the same color of this water. And it was the moment before her and Prince Eric were like reunited and together forever and all of this good stuff. I am getting strong, Little Mermaid vibes here. What that is also showing me, because there is so much water here, I do feel like for a certain group of you, you may live in a different location, maybe even across a body of water from each other. I do feel like for a group of you, there's going to be a geographical distance and maybe moving closer to one another, or communication that, there's going to be a lot of, back to the communication. Wait, why did that come up? Why did that come up? See, I channel, and I don't even remember how I got there before, but I was feeling that it was going to be a highly communicative connection, and that would make sense too if you're dealing with someone who doesn't live down the street. A lot of your communication is going to be through text, email, I don't know, letter written in calligraphy. That's the way to my heart, honey. Send me a letter written in calligraphy on some parchment with a dried flower in it. Anyway, the reason that I went there was because Ariel and Eric literally lived worlds apart. Like she was under the sea and he was on land, okay? The sea and the land. Earth sign with the horse and the sea with all of this water energy here. And we have fire, and we have sea. I did not even notice that until I took a second. We have all of the elements represented here, because we have the horse, which represents earth. We have temperance, which is fire. We have the Three of Swords in reverse, which represents our air signs. And my God, we have all of this water right here, okay? But in the base case, we are looking at a very emotional, soul tie, soul bound, in a beautiful way connection, okay? So I'm just gonna take one, let me look at my little cheat sheet here, make sure that I got everything. Oh, we always wanna look at the numbers as well. Funnily enough, I'm not feeling as obsessed with the numbers for this one. Sometimes my guides are like, count, count, count. Because if you study numerology or just have like a basic working knowledge of what numbers represent, it can be incredibly helpful, right? Okay, well, let's do it just as a part of an exercise. So the moon is the number 18 card, okay? So whenever we have a double digit, we reduce it to one number. So if it's 18, we add together 1 plus 8 equals 9, okay? And we know that 9 is a very spiritually strong number. It's the number that comes before 10, which is the moment before completion. Right underneath it is the 2 of cups. So I would add 9 and 2 together, which is what? 11. 11. 1, 1, 2 of a kind. 11 is a master number. 11 is a number of synchronicity and soulmates. Okay? That's how that works for the most part. Let me see if there's anything else. They're drawing me back to the song that oh my God, I'm talking a lot. Hold on, I need a drink. Okay. They're drawing me back to the song that I heard in the meditation, which was I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight. Could have been something you said. I'm not super familiar with it. But they're drawing me back to the I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight aspect of this. Could have been something you said. I feel like they're really hammering this point home of having glimpses of this person before you actually meet them. I think that I'm getting this, I have chills all over. Whenever the spirit is present, you're going to feel a lot of chills, okay? But in order to feel that, you have to open and clean your chakras, okay? Just putting that out there. If you want to read it intuitively. If you don't want to read tarot intuitively and you just want to read traditional meanings of the cards, you don't have to do any of that, okay? And there's a lot of videos on the tube about just how to read what's in the book and then, communicate that. But again, that's not what we're doing. Died in your arms tonight, something you said. I think you guys are going to be twinning coming up here before you actually meet in person. I think it's going to be a lot of, and again, because they're showing me this mirror aspect of the wolves here and the star. Oh, can you see that? Sorry. The wolves and the stars. There is this strong feeling of like commonality, like, oh my, like you meet and then it's like, oh yeah, so I just rewatched them, for example, random example. I just rewatched the movie High Fidelity. I hadn't watched it in years and I like had, a beautiful glass of red wine while I was watching it and popcorn. It was like amazing. And then you're like, hold the damn phone. 2 weeks ago, High Fidelity popped up on my, suggestion movie list. And I also had just felt like a weird hankering for red wine because it was going into autumn. And I always have, oh my God, like me too. Like that's what it feels like, me too. Like there's gonna be a lot of mirrored experiences, okay? Or you're gonna go, oh my God, I've been waking up at 3:28 every single night for the past, stop. I've been waking up at 3:28, like that. And part of that is that your souls are having a mirrored experience before you meet. Part of the reason behind that is because you are coming closer together with that string of fate. But it's also to help you recognize the other. Because remember back to this odd couple. Okay? Now this odd couple thing, they're telling me to talk a little bit more about that. The odd couple aspect that I'm tapping into here, it doesn't just have to be about physicality. You guys can come from different cultural backgrounds. Like it's or it could be, oh, you know what I'm getting? I think that you two could also have a gap in age. I do. I feel like there's an age gap for some of y'all. Okay? Just looking for any other ties that bind here. They're pointing out the pipe and the shroom and the fact that the horse travels between dimensions. I do get this and then the cup with the fish in it where it's like, drink this and travel. Drink this and ascend. I do get this feeling that it is going to be this feeling of, I can hardly believe it. It's a very trippy experience where it's just going to be a high magic and it's going to feel really undeniable, okay? So I think we're good with that. I could literally sit here and nitpick this all day and be like, oh my God, how many stones? You sit here as long as you want to. I'm getting one more thing. The fact that the 3 of Swords is clarified by the Queen of Cups, I'm also hearing as well with this, that this is just not a decision in which your head will need to be involved or should be involved. Please come at this from a purely intuitive sphere. Because looks, again, back to the moon, could be very deceiving. Oh my God, they're putting a quote through my head of this show on MTV called Are You the One, which is like a huge guilty pleasure of mine. And the tagline is, would you know your perfect match if they were standing right in front of you? They just piped that through my ears. And there's something here to that, okay? Use your intuition in communicating with and discerning, the landscape of this connection, okay? Your intuition will never steer you wrong. Your head, I cannot say the same of. Coming from personal experience. Okay, so let's get an oracle, you guys. Let's get an oracle. Why don't we, though? So, again, you don't have to end with an oracle. Okay, that's really weird. I'm going to take this one because it feels very specific. I just split the deck and got this enchantment because I looked down and it was like right there. And I was talking about Little Mermaid just a minute ago. And then we have all this seascape and I'm hearing, part of your world. And we have the moon and the ocean and all of this stuff and the enchantment here. With Ariel coming up out of the water. Traditionally the book says that this card is very much what it looks like. It's about the siren song, feeling so drawn to someone that it's just undeniable and it's like you can't stay away, can't get enough. You almost feel outside of yourself because you are acting in a way with this person that you normally, I feel like I'm tapping into a collective energy of people who normally have a pretty good reign or know how to play the game, air quote, but it's like with this person, you're not able, I'm seeing the image, they're showing me an image of someone texting someone and then you receiving that message and normally you're like, okay, I'm gonna wait at least like 15, 20 minutes to respond because I don't wanna seem like I'm eager, like I'm sitting here available on my phone. I don't feel like you're gonna be able to do that with this person. If you are sitting there on your phone when their text comes in and you want to respond in that moment. I feel like that is for a very specific group of you, but that's what they're showing me. And it's that siren song. Don't fight the siren song. Don't let the ego run this show. You've earned this. This is a soul connection that is faded. Go with it. Roll with it. There is something larger at play here than just you and your love life. And I say that with all the love in the world, but there is something larger at play. I'm talking about a collective energy, and the reason that a lot of these soul unions are going to be coming together through the end of this year is because something is coming collectively on an energetic level for our world that it takes two people in union, soul connected, are going to be important in terms of lifting the vibration, the collective vibration for what is to come. I'm not going to get too much into that, but that's what I feel, okay? I'm just saying, like try not to, I say this with love. I'm just being cautioned. It's like, try not to make it all about you and like your heart. And even though you've been hurt before, it's like, it feels like there's this like higher calling to it. Where it's like you're not just with this person just so that you can fall in love and be booed up during cuffing season, like I said earlier. It really is a larger purpose here. These are two souls coming together to join together. Either it's for mission work or just by being together, going to collectively raise the vibration to a place of love. That's all. That's what I'm getting, okay? I'm also being drawn to the lighthouse here and the sailboat here. And I'm hearing the song clairaudiently, Coming Home by Leon Bridges, which is all about, coming home to your person. Again, those two like souls coming together, okay? I feel like that's our oracle, but I'm gonna pull one more just for the sake of, they're telling me to count. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, they were just like, you better count how many letters are in enchantment. 11. What did I say earlier? Remember how they told me to count and it added up to 11? Didn't I say 11? 11 was about soulmates, soul unions, mirrored souls, synchronicity. Boom. I do think also, by the way, you're going to be seeing 1111 a lot around this person right before you meet them or leading up to it. Or you're going to check out at the store and your total is going to be 1111, okay? Let's get one more oracle. Let's bring it on home. If they have one, that could have been our oracle. Nope, one more. Okay. Really cool. Okay. So we got power. Look at how delicious and luxurious. there's a lot visually to go off on here. Traditionally, the book says that this is very much about a strong feminine power. You could say divine feminine, really standing in one's strength and using all the tools at your disposal. I am feeling intuitively that I'm speaking to someone, there's someone in this collective that has a past life or a strong connection to Egypt. No, and I'm getting that just because of the thing on her head, and that's what I'm feeling intuitively, okay? Just the right amount. I'm being drawn to these numbers, and this kind of looks like some weird like compass behind her head. I'm getting that the divine timing aspect here is very large and in charge here. So please trust it when it arises, okay? Also the body of water behind her, again with another parallel here. Oh, and they're showing me there's two of these cats. Two of these cats. Remember the two wolves and the mirrored souls and the it takes two? Okay, and lastly, I feel like this is also commenting on what I just said about, you know, the purpose of these unions coming forward is not just about you and ensuring that you know, that you're booed up. This is for, I feel like I'm, you know, especially for my fellow Aquarians watching this or anyone who has prominent Aquarian in their chart, I think you guys will really feel me when I say that we are the humanitarians of the zodiac. And so if we can look at it through a lens of, oh, this is for a common greater good. This isn't just about me and my feelings. This isn't just about me and you know, getting a family together or cohabitating or anything else. No, this is about mission work. No, this is about raising the collective vibration of the world for what is to come. I might have to do a video about that. I don't know. Anyway, so guys, there we are. And that is all there is to it. This was long because I wanted to talk through and show through my work. All I would do now to end the reading is I would make sure, please hear me when I say this. If you plan to read the tarot intuitively, right? And you open your chakras before you start the reading, I am begging you, please close them at the end of the reading. If you're going to do more than one reading for the day, you can keep them open. But after your last reading, please close your chakras. If not, you're going to walk around and it's going to be the equivalent of like, how would I even say this? Like, I'm seeing like a magnet and just like a lot of crap being like drawn into your personal magnet. You're just going to be picking up on a lot of people's stuff, a lot of people's energies. It's basically like walking around with no skin on. It's walking around with no skin. So please close those chakras. I cannot stress the importance of that enough. Again, I'm going to do a video about how to open, cleanse, and close your chakras with the grounding and how to shuffle as well. Okay? All right, my lovely singles, my lovely crow people, I so hope that this was comprehensive. Please let me know if this made sense. In the comments below. I just don't even, I've literally never done this before. I've never taught anyone how to read, but it was very fun for me to do so. So please let me know in the comments below. Also, if you have questions that I didn't cover or anything that comes up for you, like I'm absolutely here to help you. I think the more people that, you know, tap into their intuition and use, remember, these cards are just a tool. It's just a physical component, right? Those of us who really get our intuition well developed can channel and do an entire reading without these visual aids. These are just a tool. Okay? Just remember that. There's no magic in the card. It's what you bring to it, or the key rather. It's what you bring to it, okay? But please let me know if you have any other questions. Please let me know how this sat with you. And again, I really hope it was comprehensive. At the end of the day, my lovely single Pringles, this is going to be a very abundant holiday season, and I am super excited, okay, for us single folk out there. Can I get an amen? Hallelujah. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you guys for being here, and as always, thank you for being you, and be well.